All right, I am back. Kind of the cool down period. I thought about taking this to Skype, but it's a little difficult. Like I wish there was a way just to set up something in Skype so that people would just go, "Oh, there's a room," pop in there and come in and talk, because it is a little more intuitive and faster than through the stream here. Um, but there is that. But I'm back, and so I'm just going to be kind of hanging out, reading the chat. Also, if anyone's on Skype, I don't know. Maybe I wonder if it's worth trying to open up a group Skype call and see how that flows through here. This is just kind of cool down experimenting time right now. So let's see. All right. I don't know if you could hear Skype start up. Let's just minimize this. You don't need to see all this stuff. But so anyway, should have some folks there. All right. Whew. And I think I want to bring up the actual page here. No, ding ding ding. There we go. Live now. Hopefully I can hear through this. This is really weird. Oh, probably can't. I'm swinging wild here, so never mind. So anyway, I'm gonna watch the chat for a little bit, and yeah, you guys see all the goofy crap flying across my screen there. So I'm just looking at the chat from a different machine. So if it kind of seems like it's going dormant there, it's so weird. I could turn around here and now I see what I was just doing. It's like, wow, I look like a total nerd flying all this stuff around on screen. Like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. So let's see. Let me kind of trail back through the chat just a little bit and see if there's anything I can kind of start tackling. If anyone has any questions or whatever, yeah, I'd really love to just open this up to like a giant Skype call and be able to like talk to everybody. And I think I am definitely going to look into Google Hangout, because I just did, outside of the stuff, I also do a lot of work in comic books, and I just did a really cool Google Hangout the other night with some dudes that I'm working with on some things in the comic book business. So so there's that, and it was a really great experience actually, making that happen and seeing the way that worked and all that, because I've never done a Google Hangout before. So, but it was cool because we could all talk, we could all see what each other were doing, and I think in the future maybe a Google Hangout would be a good thing to do with this. So I could actually, I'll probably try to do that with some of the vendor specific stuff, some of the content artist specific stuff. Really helping with development, because it would be great. It would be so cool if I could see what you guys are doing. Those of you who have Zbrush, or even if just working inside Dash Studio or Poser or wherever, it'd be great if I could just see your screen and be able to go, oh, no, man, go over there, this, that, or the other. So, and now I have no idea why, but I feel like I could go another couple hours now. Yeah, I have, is Frico? Yeah, once I got done and I got to get up from my chair for a second, grab a drink, and go to the bathroom, I feel like I could go for quite a while as well. So anyway, I'm still drinking some tea here. Let's see. Kageru. Yeah, hey, dude, if you're having some issues or whatever, we'll get you taken care of, man. It's all good. It's all good. So, Terry says models have been released. Release the models. All right. Wow. It's so cool, man. It looks like we had at one point we had like 36 people watching. That's really. I'm very, very happy with that. I want to thank everybody for coming out. That was really, really cool. So, yeah, There's some of you folks that I know that I have like on Skype and so on, and y'all super cool. I'm sure y'all can talk to me pretty much anytime. Um, so yeah, if anybody's got any questions, man, feel free to hit me up. I'll be here. I am on. I am on and ready to roll. So. All right, let's see. Hey, Static there says, "Wish I was an advanced user. I'd like to be. I'd really am still in the basic stage. This was very eye-opening. You know, everybody's got to start somewhere, man. Everybody starts somewhere. Um, it's funny. There's this thing outside of this stuff. I do karate, right? I'm really deep into martial arts, and there's this thing that my teacher says all the time is that it's just that advanced karate is just basics done in different combinations, and the same is true in just about everything. And so with this stuff, it's like this. You know, this is art production, and different types of stuff, and it really is just basics done in different combinations. Um, and that's why when I'm trying to teach this stuff, that's why sometimes I like to stop and talk about the concepts, like when I was talking about polypaint, trying to explain how 3D translates to 2D and all that kind of stuff. I know sometimes that stuff can be kind of out in the weeds and maybe a little technical, a little weird, but I really like the idea of having an understanding, because if you understand those things, then you understand the basic fundamentals of how it works, and then all the other stuff just makes sense because it is all just those basic elements put together in different combinations. So don't feel bad. You don't feel bad about just starting out or whatever, because right now you learn those basics and you'll be able to put them together, and you'll do amazing things. You know, it's Killian was hanging out here, and I think I haven't scrolled back through all the chat because it looks like there was a lot of it, but you know, part of why I asked him to sit in with us and help field some questions and things like that is because he's, you know, he knows his stuff, but you know what? He's 19. And he's been doing it for about 5 years. He's been my apprentice for about 5, going on 6 years now. Point being, you know, anybody can do this. Um, Anybody can learn it, and you start with those basics. You know, that's what he started with, and now, you know, just 19, and he can sit and talk the talk and explain it, and does great work. Most of the monsters we put out in the last couple of years have been his work. You know, he's amazing. He blows my mind. I love the fact that it's my son doing that. But the point I'm making is everybody's got to start somewhere, and just the fact that you are starting, the fact that you're doing it is great. And don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't ever let anybody try to discourage you from it. Cut loose. Do this stuff. Do it. Have at it. Have fun with it. Express yourself with it. And at the same time, find a way with it that you make stuff that you can sell. Maybe give yourself a little supplemental income from. Maybe it becomes your main income someday. That's really cool. And it's, you know, part of the joy for me of doing what I do with this stuff, especially after 23 years of it, is I love being able. I love that CGBytes. I've been trying to get people to let me do something like this for years, and CGBytes was the place that said, "Yeah, we'll do that." You know, CGBytes has given me this chance to really reach out to folks like you and all the other artists, or aspiring artists or content folks who showed up tonight. It's given me the chance to reach out to all you guys and be like, hey, you can do this. Let's do this together. Let's build something. Let me show you some really cool things. And I want to see all you crazy creative people cut loose and just blow the doors off of what we can offer, you know. So yeah, you can do it. You know, definitely stick in there. You will, and ask me questions. We're here to help. So let's see. Kiana Dawn. Let's see. Yeah, Hinky. My problem is deciding what I want to try to make. I know you, Hinky. You know, and you know what though? The artwork that you do is so freaking amazing. I mean, the renders and stuff that you do, so amazing. The vision that you've got is so gorgeous. I can't wait to see what stuff you make as you move forward with this. Hinky, I know you're going to be awesome. So there was another one. What was the other? There was another thing I was just looking at. Oh, so much in the chat. So much in the chat. Let's see. Kiana Dawn, I had a question about the extraction part. What about that makes it okay to distribute? The Dynamesh and the changing of the policy. Yeah, by the time all you're doing, you are using that base mesh as a starting point. You're masking it, you're extruding it, you're extracting from it. But once it's altered, you're in no way distributing that original mesh anymore, and the precedent is already there for the distribution of derivative meshes that have to have that original one to be used. I mean, you know, who's going to use clothing for that figure if they're not using a figure? So yeah, that's all good. It's totally cool. I mean, if it's not, somebody needs to let me know. But I'm very confident that is perfectly fine. Otherwise it would be kind of pointless to even have GoZ in there, except for morphs and a couple other things. But yeah, you do the extraction, and I mean, extraction or drawing the topology, either one, you're still working on the target figure's mesh. You know, I mean, really, if there was any debate about that, they would both be kind of up in the air. But I really don't think there's any debate about that. As long as you're not, like, you can't just cut bits out of their mesh and do stuff with it. You can't do that. That's wrong on every level, and everybody knows it. There's no question of that. But extracting, then retopologizing either by hand or with ZRemesh or drawing topologies, all that stuff that's how it's done. That's just, you know, that's ubiquitous to the entire process. So you really don't have anything to worry about there. You know, as far as I know, and I've been doing this a long time, so I think we're good. Let's see. Let's take another question here. Let's see. I'm trying to learn. Freako says I'm trying to learn how to animate my scenes in Daz. If there any manner of a tutorial that could be done in the future, that would be the one that interests me the most. You know, as I've really dug in and learned Daz Studio, in my opinion, I'm going to say probably the weakest link in Daz's setup, at least with the default free version, is you know, without adding a bunch of plugins to it, is that the animation tools there, they can be used. You can do some stuff with it, but there are some aspects of animation that I feel like it really needs to step up on. If anyone at Daz cared what I thought, and they said, Les, what do you think about our program as far as animation? I would say, well, it's pretty weak. It's pretty weak, mostly because there are some key tools that are not immediately available to the end user, and you have to buy them. Well, once you buy them, I'm sure it's fine. I haven't bought them yet because mostly it just hasn't been something that I've needed in there. And I do, like, I include animated poses with a lot of my creatures that we sell, and when I do those animated poses, I do all that stuff out of Poser. Because most of those creatures we do, you know, a Poser version and a DS version. And I do poses and stuff in Poser. There's certain things that I feel Poser is still much stronger for. And posing and animation, definitely animation, actually, because there's function curves, there's nonlinear animation, there's a number of tools and things inside Poser. The Daz Studio just doesn't quite have it down yet. But at the rate they're going, I don't doubt that they either A, have it available as plugins that you can get, or B, it's coming at some point, because they're just trucking right along with that stuff. So, but as far as actually animating in there, yes, you can do it, and I can show you some cool things about it at some point. You know, maybe we do a video on that. I don't think that there's enough call for animation in this field that we're in. Because most people are using it for still images. I don't think there's enough call for animation for me to do maybe an entire seminar on it, but it might be something that I do as a video and post here on the CGB page, or you know, I do a fair amount of videos and post on the 6S1 page as well. So it's something that between CGBytes and 6S1, I could try to work out a little video sometime, maybe addressing any questions you have and post those as a response. So let's look. Let's see. Kageru, not at all familiar with animating a DS. Yeah. uh, animating a DS is like I said, it's one of those things. It's kind of interesting. It can be done. So let's see. Kianadon. Frico, I use DAZ to make games. Really, that's cool. For now, all I can really only manage visual novels. I'd love to be able to try my hand at even making a live environment. Yeah, Loki just asked exactly what I was about to ask. What engine do you use? Um, so, um, yeah, I'm keenly interested in that because I do outside of this stuff in other parts. Just a quick explanation. I'm part of CGBytes. I'm acting as the director of artist development for CGBytes, and I also maintain the business and studio that my wife and I my wife and I and my son, really now me and my son. Rebecca's kind of she's kind of finding other things that she wants to go on to now, and that's fine. We like to let her, give her that opportunity. So the business, 6S1 Media, has been me and her for all these years now. It's me and my son mostly. But as 6S1, we do a lot of stuff outside of Poser and DAZ as well, and have done a lot of work with game engines and game development and all that. So I'm really curious for Frico there. What kind of stuff you're using. See, Game Maker Studio, Triano Builder, RPG Maker, depending on what I actually want to make. Okay, cool. I am not familiar with Game Maker Studio at all, or Triano Builder. I've heard of RPG Maker. That's kind of interesting. We do a lot of work in Unity and Unreal Engine, and I've actually been spending a little bit of time here and there exploring the ability now, because you can use both those engines to do basically photoreal rendering. Kind of kills me actually that we have so much lagginess and hang up time with things like iRay and Superfly inside Poser, because these game engines are just knocking it out of the park. It's absolutely crazy to me the power that there is in game engines that are free to use. The rendering power that is inside those kicks the crap out of so many other things, and especially Unreal Engine now is getting film quality. You can actually, there are ways inside that you can get some film quality rendering, and in virtually real time. It's crazy fast. So it actually irritates me a lot. Like, my biggest irritation when working with DS or Poser is the render times, because there's just no excuse for that anymore. There's no excuse. They should be using some of the same technology that you find in these render engines and give us some kind of much faster real time rendering. It's just unacceptable, people. Yeah, let's see, Unity. Yeah, the Mixamo stuff works pretty well. You've got a ton of stuff there. Yeah, Mixamo has really done a lot to open things up for indie game folks. I'm a big fan of. I guess I guess it's because it's just the nature of my business for years is like we do a lot of custom models and animation and development, things like that. So and especially with creatures and things that are maybe beyond the scope of a human figure. So we did a lot of oh my god, like augmented reality development. Now that it's funny, everybody knows augmented reality now because of Pokemon Go, but a few years ago, Killian and I actually worked together on a project for Brian Haberlin called Anomaly, and a couple other projects where we did dozens and dozens of characters that we modeled, rigged, textured, and then animated. And set them all up for augmented reality and all that stuff. And that was all inside the Unity engine, so it was pretty cool. So anyway, so I'm still here, I'm still hanging out for a bit. I see we've got 11 people still hanging around watching. That's pretty cool. If anybody has any questions, I know there's a lag between when I speak and when it comes through the stream, and hopefully you guys can still hear me. I think so. I hope so. Um, so there's that. If there's anything anyone would like to see, like on the fly, I'm just going to kind of sit here and noodle around a little bit. Um, maybe give y'all some stuff that folks who ain't here no more might want to see. It'd just be kind of cool. So anyway, yeah, if you have any more questions or whatever, just post them in the chat and let me know. And then you can always hook up with me. You can leave me comments and messages on here on YouTube. I check this a lot. Either under CGBytes or 6S1 Media. You can reach me on Skype, 6S1 Media. Pretty much you type 6S1 in just about anywhere, you're going to get me. And these days, CGBytes, with artist development, those are kind of the two places that you could find me most of the time. So let's see, how would you start a 3D hair project? Well, 3D hair. There are so many different ways. Hair, yes, hair. Hair. Yes, hair. So I'm typing that in there so you guys know that I'm hearing you. Let's see. Yeah, this will be available to watch on the CGBytes channel. Yes, Sean Russell, thank you for asking. Kageru should probably try to go work on something, products, animation, see a number of things behind. Hey man, we all got stuff. Get it. I know you. I've known you for a long time, Kageru. I've known you for a long time at this point. I can't wait to see what kind of stuff you make. I know you can do it. So hair. Yeah, hair was kind of the thing everyone was talking about just a second about. Man, hair is a great topic. Way bigger topic than what I probably should get into here at the moment. It is something that I plan to cover in the future, though. And there are a lot of different methods that I like to use. I'll pull up real quick though. Pull up a hair piece that I've done. I've got, you see this little area here. This little thing says G3 Dev. This is kind of my special stash of Genesis stuff that I've been working on. Pardon me. And so I'll show you a little bit of hair in a way that a little something that I've been working on. I've been using it on some stuff. See it in some promos and some of the stuff at CGBytes. It's pretty cool. Check this out. So I've got a scalp piece that I throw on here. That way I've always got a scalp, and I don't have to make a scalp every time I want to do some hair. And then there's this thing I've been using that I make called Short Shaggy. So we'll load that on here. And of course, I'm keeping this in the regular texture view because iRay just bogs down. I mean, it renders great, renders beautifully, but its interaction in the viewport is laggy, and I really just don't like that. So, the hair that you see right here is something that I made. Like most of my stuff, it either started or spent some great degree of time inside Zbrush. Zbrush is, I also use Maya, just so you know. It's like I'm not like Zbrush is all you need. I mean, it is all you need, but you can do just about everything you want to do with it. But I also use Maya because, good lord, the Maya is just such an incredible tool. Always has been. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I could ramble on about that forever. But the hair that you see here, this is something that's made inside Zbrush. Maybe a little assist from Maya here and there on some things. You can see that even in just the regular textured viewport here, it's pretty solid. So, and then I'll show you like some of the shapes and things that I've got in here for it. I think are pretty cool. This is actually something I plan to release at CGBytes pretty soon as a commercial product. You can tell I've been talking too long and starting to slur my words. So now this is just kind of a little peek at some of what's inside this. I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of visual proof that yeah, 6S1 can do hair. There you go. We can do that. We can go down that road. And I think that's going to be one of the upcoming seminars that we're going to do is maybe some basics of hair. I know there's definitely one. I'm not entirely sure what our agenda is just yet. What our schedule is going to look like for the open to the public stuff. But if you already have products yourself, you have pose kits, you have that kind of stuff, bring some of your stuff on board. It's worth. I think that coming on board CGBytes as a vendor, as a content artist, I really don't like the word vendor. Coming on as a content artist at CGBytes, even if you just bring a couple products, that will open you up to the artist development program that I'm running there, and get you deep access to a lot of stuff that you'll be able to pick my brain about stuff, a lot of insights and stuff, and then those really super specific sorts of seminars that we're planning to do. That in those we're probably going to be taking some like specific stuff, like how do you make hair move? How do you build that hair? How do you do certain kinds of really complicated morphs or features and products? If the introductory stuff is there to kind of say, hey, you can do this. Here's how. Let's get you started. Then once you're started and you're making stuff, if you're already making stuff and you come on board, then those advanced, those ones that are like, hey, this is for our people. These are the classes that are for our people. You've come on board. You've shown us you want to be a part of things. Now we're going to give you back. This is how we give back to you. Aside from just offering a great place to sell stuff, this is a way that we give back to you by saying, here, now let's help you get even better and make even more cool stuff. So in those kind of places, we'll be going over all kinds of really, really cool little things. Like there's stuff that I'll do sometimes with setting up dynamics in one program or another, and ways to transfer stuff from different programs back and forth, moving data around. There's a lot of cool stuff and in the end, it's all about making cool stuff. So, but yeah, this is going back over this hair a little bit. I know I'm just kind of hanging out and rambling a little bit right now, so you gotta forgive me. It's late and I tend to do that. So. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I really, there's a kind of a way that I like making hair that's really based out of the kind of stuff that I've done on I've done some work in like film and broadcast as well as gaming. So what I try to bring to products and things in this market is really coming from that experience, from those kind of places. Kind of I hate the words high end because it. As soon as you call something high end, then by default everything else is low end. And what we do for Poser and Dash Studio is by no means low end. I always hate that kind of the disparity that happens between that, because you put stuff out for Poser and Dash Studio. There's some people who give you some disrespect for it, but anyway, I try to bring the quote unquote high end techniques and experience into what we do here. And that's kind of always been, I like to think that that's always been an element of what we do as 6S1 Media, and now is really at the heart of a lot of stuff that I'm bringing to CGBytes. So anyway, like here, just looking at this hair, you've got all kinds of controls, all kinds of ways that it moves and stuff. And I'm not even 100% sure that I'm even done with this hair yet. I actually have. I don't even load that up and add. Let's just load that up and add a few more while I'm sitting here. It's so funny. That's actually what happens a lot with this, and why this hair hasn't been released yet. Is I still have, what is it? I used it in like promo images for a lot of stuff, and I have my dev files for it sitting here. So at any point, if I'm like, man, I really need a morph for that does this, that, or the other, I can just pop this open here, and the way that I have it set up inside Zbrush is really super cool. it's kind of, I'm not going to get into a lot of stuff right now. That's mostly because I'm kind of tired. I don't want to get into a lot of specifics, but I am just going to kind of sit here and doodle this so you can see some stuff and, you know, um, sort of, it's really neat, really neat some of the stuff that we can do with this. And you can bet that in upcoming productions, upcoming seminars, and so on, that I'm definitely going to dig in and kind of reveal a lot of stuff about this. And, like that's kind of a cool, crazy shape to toss out there. Let's just, yeah, so we can do something like that. And let's call that something. I don't know. Let's send it over and then call it something. Update. Shaggy accept. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna toss that under. Let's put that under hair movement, and then we're gonna name that chaotic left. Okay, there we go. So boom, and this is again, Zbrush is just such a great thing to have around. Let's see, shaggy. There we go. Chaotic left. So there's what that shape translates into over here. So you can see just right there, just that little bit. Of course, you can go the other way with it and give her that. It's kind of neat. Let's switch it back to my default shape. Since we got a chaotic left, might as well add a chaotic right. Right? So let's do that. Let's just toss something in here. I also want to take a look back over here at the chat window before I forget. Before I get too distracted with twiddling. I remember my first product. Terry was so helpful. Yeah, Terry rocks. Nick Silver says, I remember my first product. Terry was so helpful. Terry is a rock star at this stuff. Terry and Jason and everybody on the team at CGBytes, man. It seems like a young store. Seems like kind of a young place. Everybody, there's other stores that are kind of big dogs in this particular field. But the thing is, the folks that I've gotten to know here at CGBytes are so cool to deal with. It's just there's a lot of heart, and most of these folks have actually been around this stuff for a long time as well. And some of them like Loki. Loki and I have kind of known each other off and on for many years, and it's just really cool. It's like the attitude here, Nick, is we want to see you succeed. There's just a general spirit of helpfulness that I think you'll find here. That I'm not going to say you won't find helpful people at other stores. What I will say is I know you'll find them here. I know you'll find them at CGBytes. Between myself, Terry, Jason, there's a couple other folks on staff. We're all good people. It's just really cool. It's really cool. I'm glad to be working with these folks. I still have stuff that I do in other places. I still have a presence. My business, 6S1 Media, still has a presence in other places. But the kind of partnership that I've entered into, working with the folks here, is something I'm really proud of, because I feel like we've got there's an attitude here, and there's a method and a way that things work here that can really offer something different to folks in this. So let's see, Terry, Freako, CGBytes sell games, because that would be about the only thing that I can contribute. Freako, you know what? Terry. Yeah, Terry says yes, we sell Flash games. If you have another format, we can take a look. Visual novels coded in Java. Yeah, visual novels are cool. And Freako, man, that stuff is something that definitely talk to us. Terry is a good person to talk to about that stuff, and we're interested. That's the other thing too, is like we're not just about we're not about any one kind of thing like that. We're really, it's, CGBytes. It's like, it's about this kind of art form and the delivery of this art of all kinds of art forms through, the computer generated CG platforms and all that kind of stuff. And if we can help you guys as artists get some stuff out there, then hey, bring it. Let's take a look at it. Let's talk about that stuff. There's all kinds of cool things that can be done. So, all right. All right. So I want to finish up this morph shape on this hair. We were doing chaotic right. I'm just going to twiddle this on out. So, and I'm kind of starting to wind down. It's like 11:23 here in my time zone. And so I think probably before long I am going to be signing off for the night. It's really cool. Everybody that's kind of stuck around, talked, chatted. I hope to see you folks again. And you know what? I was really. Oh, hey, I got a question from Hinky. 97,000 points on my shorts. Do I need to start over? Well, Hinky, you could. Hinky now verbally. So stick around. Okay. So Hinky, yeah, on that issue, that's something that I might want to take a look at and help you figure out one-to-one at some point. But right off the bat, one of the things I can tell you that you could do is maybe, depending on at what stage you're in, like if you already got a bunch of stuff, if it's already modeled out and you've ended up accidentally like deleting your lower subdivisions, then we could take a copy of it, make a duplicate of that into a new subtool, and then we could use the Decimation Master, which I didn't show tonight. But you could use Decimation Master to make a decimated copy that's lighter for the program to work with, and then Z-remesh that, re-UV that real quick, and project your details back in. That's one way to kind of sidestep potentially losing your work in when a mistake happens, and they do happen. There's a lot of different ways that we could approach that. So if you want, maybe we could schedule a time, because I do, you're somebody who is a CGBytes vendor, so I'm free to schedule a point to talk about that and help you out a little bit. So all right, so contact request. Yeah, I'll definitely want to take a look at it, because there's a lot of different ways. It's hard to say just from what you've said in the chat as to what could be up with that. So I'll definitely want to take a look at that. So oh man, yeah, I'm gonna finish up this little hair morph that I was doing. I had to kick over and answer a question from my lovely wife Rebecca. So a lot of you folks, if you folks have known us for a while, you probably know her. She's not just to clear up, because I know I said something about this earlier. She's not entirely like leaving us, leaving the business. But it's like doing this stuff has always been kind of my dream, and she was kind enough to me years and years ago, just a year or two into us being married. She was kind enough to me to kind of apply her insane intellect. She is ridiculously smart. It's one of the things I love about my wife. To bring her intellect and her ability to work with people and apply that to to what I wanted to do with a business, doing this kind of content, doing 3D and all that stuff. And she's been a straight up rock star at that stuff for, good Lord, 15 years now. And it's been cool. A lot of people know her through this. A lot of people kind of become friends with her, and that's been great. But the point being though, that this was always kind of part of my dream of things, and she has stuff that she wanted to do. When we met, she was going to school for bar and restaurant management. She's a real people person, real outgoing. So being stuck in the studio all the time, kind of, it was just not. It was something that I think we always knew at some point she wanted to kind of spread her wings a little bit and get out and kind of pursue some of her own ideas and some of her own things that she wanted to do. And so now she's doing that, and it's cool. It's nice. It's great for me that she was willing to help me get my thing off the ground, and we've been successfully doing this for a long time now. And she still runs the site and does customer support and stuff. When she's available, when she can be here for that. But it's kind of like the time's come for her to get the chance to do her thing. She was gracious and good enough to me to kind of give me that, and be supportive of me in that when we got together. And so yeah, now doing my best to try to give her that space and support to do that, in the way that she wants to for herself. So that's going to be kind of cool. It's a little weird, it's a little weird for me because I've gotten used to her, and there's definitely some separation anxiety because she's not here all the time anymore. But I've got my son, and he and I work together, and I don't know, it's just cool. It's just times change, things change, and and you try to support the people you love, and she's really enjoying herself. I think she's going to enjoy herself, I should say, at the stuff that she's about to start doing. And so yeah. Anyway, got to babbling. Anybody who knows me for very long knows as soon as I start talking about my wife, I'll end up babbling on forever. But yeah, I just had to reach over and answer a quick question from her. So wow, that's not really chaotic, is it? That's more of a sweep. Let's call that sweep right. So sweep right, or billow. I'd call it more of a billow. Billow right. Movement. Ding. Now let's make it chaotic. Let's get that into something chaotic. So there we go. A little bit more. There's that. And there we go. Chaotic right. It's funny how many things are really all about the setup. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, the process leading up to this point is like, oh, it's so easy to create these morphs. Yeah, it's easy to create these morphs once you've got the stuff set up right. It's the process of setting it all up that's such a pain. Chaotic right. Okay, there we go. Let's just show that. There we go. Chaotic right. Chaotic left. Billow right. Of course, now I have to do a billow left. Yay. What do I got myself into? So let's do a billow, something along those lines. Billowing, billowing we go. Billowing the hair. Yeah, I definitely want to look into doing Google Hangouts because I think we'll be able to have a little better interactivity through those. And that's going to be, that's going to be something that I think would be really valuable, is that level of interactivity. So there's that. And all right, push that back off the ear. There we go. Alright, then billow left. Cool. Alright, so yeah, I just added a couple more morphs to that. This hair kit is a part of a whole suite of products that I plan to release relatively soon. I've actually had a lot of stuff. I mean, anybody who's been kind of watching all the push that we've had lately with CGBytes, there's been Dark Void going for weeks. There's still more Dark Void stuff to come. And speaking of which, if you dig that science fiction theme, you dig the style and the stuff that we're doing on Dark Void, let us know. Send me messages, post stuff about it, share it on Facebook. That's a big thing, man. Really, really want to encourage you folks to share our posts. Loki here, man, he's busting his chops to get posts and things out there so that people kind of see and start to know, who we are and what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. And if you guys would make sure you share those posts, help spread that stuff around, help that stuff go viral. That really helps us reach new people, helps us when you guys, those of you who come on board as content artists, that will help you guys have a larger reach. It just helps everybody, and it's so cool. Because in the end, it's all about making cool stuff. And the more people know we make cool stuff, the more people will come get our cool stuff, and the more cool stuff we can all make. So that kind of just rocks. So yeah, please, make sure that you share those links to stuff. Share our posts and all that. Spread us out there on Facebook and Twitter, and if you're using Pinterest, I personally do a lot of stuff on Pinterest. There's so many different places. It's like social media is just so wide open. Everybody's using stuff. So even places that you might not necessarily see an official CGBytes presence, or even a CGBytes or a 6S1 presence, by all means, still plaster the stuff out there, man. Show it off. We've got a lot of cool stuff, I think, planned to really give some value to all you guys who want to come on board, want to learn some stuff, want to make some cool stuff, and when you share it and you let people know about it, that really helps us out a lot. That's really important, and we love you for it. So anyway, so yeah, I finished twiddling around with the hair here. It looks like we're finally down to about 8 people left in the left watching the stream, and officially it was over at like 10:30. So. And I've just been kind of hanging out to do a little post-mortem with everybody since. So I'm gonna call it a wrap for the night, and thank everybody again for watching. Do one last check on any questions here. Let's see. Terry, Nick. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna call it a night, and thank everybody for coming out. Super cool seeing so many people come out for this, and can't wait for the Hinky remains. Love you, Hinky. Love the Hinkster. She's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to call it a night, and oh, so many messages, so many people. So anyway, thanks again, everybody, for coming out. Share the links. Share links to this once we make this available for you to watch. Watch the stuff after the fact. Yeah, hey, Freako, I see you there. I'm going to have to bail. I've actually been talking pretty solid for, oh my God, since 8 o'clock. So, and I actually used to moonlight as a, that's a little known fact. I used to moonlight as a DJ, engineer, and producer in public radio a long time ago. It was kind of it was almost like a little hobby job that I had because I thought radio was cool, and yeah, I haven't been on air speaking this much in a very, very long time, at least 21 years. So yeah, I'm starting to feel it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out for the night, everybody. But hey, I see some thank yous from everybody. Yes, Nick, I would love a beer. So thanks again, everybody. You folks have been super, super cool. It's been fun. It's actually been, I knew I would dig doing these, but it's actually been even more fun than I thought it would be, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So keep in touch with us on here, on Facebook, um, and everywhere fine 3D content is sold. Keep in touch with us on here on Facebook and on Twitter, and we'll make sure to post a schedule for when more of these things are happening, and hopefully I'll see some of y'all back, and hopefully you bring your friends. This first time I expected maybe 10 people. We had 36 people watching at one point. How cool is that? That was awesome. So and so you folks, I appreciate that so much, and I hope you folks will tell some friends, get some more folks to come. We had more than 3 times the amount of people I was really expecting. Let's get 3 times that we did. I expected 10. We got 30. We got 36. Let's try to get 90 next time. Let's see how many people we can get in here. I know there's a ton of people who do this stuff and are interested in it. So help us out, spread the word, and maybe we can start something here. Maybe we can get cool stuff coming out. It's not to say that there isn't cool stuff coming out from all kinds of people all over the place, but I know there's going to be cool stuff here. I've gotten to be a part of making it, getting to be a part of making that happen, and this whole market of people, this whole little cottage industry of 3D content and all the cool art and stuff that people make with it has been such a part of my life now for, good lord, almost my entire working career. I mean, I started doing 3D when I was 19, 20 years old, and that's been a long time ago. And this content world has been a big part of that. Poser was a big part of it for a long time. Now Dad's Studio. So it's just so cool to me to be able to interact with all you guys and share my experiences and help people learn stuff. And I know that there's cool stuff going on other places. Cool stuff people are doing. That's great. It's awesome. But I know there's cool stuff going on here. I know. I get a vantage point. I get to be a part of something that I hope can be kind of in this field that we have, in this little community that we have. There's been a lot of upheaval. There's been a lot of changes happen over the last couple of years. A lot of things have left a lot of people kind of wondering what's going on and where things are headed. And it makes me. I'm really proud to be someplace with people doing this stuff in a way that I know where things are going. I know cool stuff's coming. I know we're making cool stuff, and I know we're going to help you guys make cool stuff. That's just awesome. That's really, it's a nice place to be. It's a nice place to be, and I'm glad to have all you folks who watch this here with me. So take that as my my adieu for the evening, and please spread the word. And hopefully I will see y'all back here again. So thanks a lot, and have a very good night. Now go make some artwork. Go make cool stuff. Bye.